What's going on, guys, and welcome back. We're here for another build a race sled video. Yep. We did one last year when I came out of old man retirement, and as you guys know, this year we're doing the entire Adirondack Cross Country Race Series, and our first race is this weekend, January 11th, on Lake Colby in Saranac Lake. So unfortunately, in the middle of making this video, the first race did actually get canceled. The ice did not accumulate and come like I can't even say we both thought it was definitely going to accumulate, but the officials just decided that it wasn't enough ice. They didn't get enough over the last few days, so it has been canceled, but we still continued on building the race sled, so we're ready to go for whenever the next race does happen. So we have our 2025 Polaris race sleds here, and we're going ice racing. So just like I said in the video before, if you guys wanted to try cross-country racing and it just happened to be an ice race, you don't have to do all this. Just to clarify, you could take your sled that you ride on the trail and you could go out there and you could try it just to see if you like it. Us racing in the pro division and trying to, win and be competitive, this is, what it takes on our end to be that fast and to be that good. Yep. So, yes, we have our completely stock 2025 cross-country race sled from Polaris. We got some miles on it this year. And now we're going to go through it, and we're going to rip all the suspension out of it, pretty much slam it to the ground as we did last year's, or this is a 22, but this is the one we ran last year, and do that. So we'll go through. Bruce has to shorten the shocks in the rear, shorten the shocks up front, valve them according to Polaris spec, what they want. We have all of our Woody's traction products up here to stud it. These things are crazy sharp. As you guys saw in my studding video, it's already drilled, so I don't have to drill it, which is a big plus thanks to Pat. So once we get the rear suspension out, we'll flip it on its side and I'll just start studding away. So big thanks to Woody's as always. We have our, see, that hurt when I just touched it because it goes right through the bag. We have our runners, which are specific to ice. They can't touch concrete, same as the studs, nothing else other than ice. Yeah. We have clutching coming from Velocity Sled Performance. That should be here at some point today or tomorrow to get these things, running at peak performance. And that's really it. But, we got to do sway bar too.
Yes, thicker sway bar.
Thicker sway bar to help keep the sled flat in the corners. And then we have our little plates in the back to help keep the track aligned and, kind of funnel some more snow up there. Obviously, we're going to be on ice, so there's not a ton of cooling. As of right now, the lake is 100% ice. They are calling for some snow this week, so we're kind of on the fence. We might have a couple different setups, but as of right now, judging based off what we're seeing, we're still going to go full ice setup because the winds are going to be so strong. I think it's going to blow everything off.
I would think.
Because Adirondack Cross Country will not plow the course. They will leave the snow on it. So if there's a foot and a half, it's going to get bumpy, and you're definitely not going to want to be on a full ice setup. No. But yeah, so first things first, we're just going to take the hood and the side panels and everything off, get the bolts out of the rear skid, get the skid out, get the shocks out, so Bruce can start working on them. Yeah. I'm going to start studding, and then once we get it flipped back over, I'll pull the front out and get the sway bar done, pull the clutches off, and wait for them, and just kind of get moving and grooving on this. Rock Speed Effects came through. This is the same seat that we ran last year, again on the 22, but we sent it out to them to get wrapped to match the other sled, which is on the other side, and they crushed it. That just showed up today, so perfect timing there. And that's it.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I think the response from out west for these sleds has been super strong. So,
yeah, they're definitely powerful little buggies. So excited to get on ice and kind of see, compared to the 22, what we felt last year, what these things are going to feel like. So, yeah, we're just going to dive into this thing and get going. Okay, we're in the shock guys little area here. So as we were saying, we have to shorten shocks. So we just figured we'd show you guys what kind of happens. This is the rear track shock. Right. So pretty much with these, we actually just use a shorter shaft. We don't actually shorten anything else. We just use a shorter shaft. The fronts are different though.
Yeah, the fronts we use a spacer.
Yeah. So you use the same size shaft in the front shocks.
And you just run a spacer in there to slug it so that it can't come out all the way.
Right. So we went through. He's got shorter shaft we got from the race department. Valving is race department spec.
Yeah, proprietary.
Yes.
For the ice, yeah. So the one that we take off of the cross country has a lot more valves to it. This is down here. This is much less valving because obviously it's just short movements, very very little.
Yeah, there's not really any bumps.
Yeah.
Well, there shouldn't be any bumps.
Yeah, just the little tiny ones. So,
hopefully for me, there's not many.
yeah. So so we just take that right off the piston. We actually change one of the holes inside of it, and then we valve it accordingly. So that's it.
Yep. Then it goes back in its home.
Yeah.
Where it belongs, into the body, which is what he's doing right now.
Yeah, we just have to reset the piston and get the air out of the piston when we put it in. There's this piston, and then this is the internal floating piston.
Right.
And what they wanted to do with this, or what we did do with it, is a lot of the valving that is on a snowcross sled. The compression side is almost put pressure on it. They call it a ring shim. So when we tighten it all down, it actually tightens the shims where it literally only moves unless it gets hit. Well, on trail stuff or cross country stuff, we don't do that. We want to make it so that it moves through that little
Nice
side.
and easy.
Whereas this one, again, I think for hole shot, or when you're coming out of the turn, you get on the gas, or you're going through the turn, you get on the gas. They use that ring shim in there so that it doesn't just squat the sled and then want to just kind of pick the skis a little bit and is trying to drift you, because that's obviously the last thing you want on the ice. You want to be able to go in, just like NASCAR. You watch them go into the turn, apex the turn, go back out again on the gas.
Right.
So that is, that kind of valving that we do on that is for that. You can roll into it, and that rear suspension won't move. It doesn't move until it hits something, and then the valve will open.
Right.
So completely different.
So rear track and front track, we put in shorter shafts, or just the rear track?
Just the rear.
Just the rear.
Front track is controlled by the straps.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, strap length.
Cool. So he's going to get this back together, and then we could put the rear suspension.
Yep.
So we fast forward a little bit, but in 15 minutes we had the skid out, clutches off, and I was studying. So just like we were talking about before, this is how. Yes, that's full length.
Yeah, there's a distance between bumper and spring.
Yeah.
Right now.
So that's the little stubby shaft, and then we're just getting ready to suck the limiter straps up, because again, it's not a different shaft than that. We just use the limiter straps just like we do on the stock sled.
And a short, lightweight spring.
Yeah, and a short, what's that, like an 80-pound spring or something like that?
I almost thought it was 125.
Could be a 125.
Yeah.
But either way, still a very light one compared to what we're used to. Yeah. And then, yes.
This spring.
Yeah.
This is different.
Yeah, it's a little bit beefier.
Yeah.
What comes on them. And then studding is all done. So all in all, we had 188 studs. Again, thanks to Woody's Traction Products for giving us all the traction. These things are serious. And this is just a stock Cobra track. I believe per rules, you could also run a Ripsaw 1, which they kind of recommend for ice, but we didn't go that far. The Cobra did just fine last year, so we're going to stick with. But studding's all done, all torqued down, ready to go. We're just, once we get the rear skid back in it, we'll get it up on its own 2 feet, and then we'll start tearing into the front.
Yep.
So skid's back in. We haven't put this torsion spring back on. We do that after we get it in there. But this is it all sucked up. We put our extra wheel kit on too, which I don't think we mentioned when we did it before, because we kind of forgot about it until last second. But this is it. I mean, it's crazy to see it like from this angle, because you could really see how sucked up it is. Yeah,
the distance that when I'm talking to people about what the strap length at, they measure from the bottom of the torque arm to the center of the screw. It's usually around 7 1/4, 7 1/2. This one is 3 1/8. Yeah, so it's 4 inches difference
Yeah.
of strap length.
And then it really gives you a good look at the studs too, which is just
Yeah.
crazy. So we're gonna go and try her out. We gotta flip her on its own 3 feet, get the other torsion spring, which is crazy how much preload it is. You don't realize how much, but like before we started, no tension or no preload was like here.
Yeah.
So we had to go this whole distance to get it up onto that.
Because
So
this is over halfway through its travel,
Right.
sitting there.
right.
So
So we're gonna flip it up on its 2 feet, get that other one done. I gotta tighten the one other front torque arm bolt, and then we might call it a night and continue on tomorrow.
Yep.
She's on her own feet. She's got tall feet in the front, but she's got little feet in the back. So obviously that front end will come down, what would you say?
2 inches.
2 inches probably, right? Yeah, because they're 2-inch slugs that we use in the fronts.
Yeah.
So at least 2 inches. So it'll, again, it's going to look just like the 22 that we ran last year. So right now there's only like maybe 18 inches of track on the ground. But we're getting there. We're going to call it a night, go get some food, and come back and get after it tomorrow on the front end. Well, quick little jump forward. We have obviously shocks out, thicker sway bar in, which the bushings that come from the race department are still just the factory size. So you actually have to drill them out, 9/16. The cross country race sleds this year, the one steering, I don't even know what you would technically call it. Came with a light duty one, as you can see, that's cut out, and then they sent a solid one with it. So we already put that in. So you got to pull the pipes off, all that. I checked chain tension, even though it only has like 150 miles on it, just to make sure. This one boot is off because this side was a pain in the butt to get to that. It's actually a T40 on the bottom, which is really annoying. It's this one right here. So to pull that boot off, that was way easier to do. And we're going to check toe on it too once we get it back on the ground to make sure that we're square. Bruce is going to do shortened shocks for that one because we're pulling the shocks. That's going on this. This is kind of a backup sled. Just God forbid anything happen.
Yeah.
And then we're cruising. So waiting on clutching from Velocity, which should be here today. And then we're going to slap this all back together.
Okay, we're ready to go.
Today's video interrupted by Bruce's new project.
Yeah. Well, you made me sign up.
This
today.
is what, a 2004 Pro
X2.
X2.
2, and the 2 meant it had Walker Evans clicker shocks all the way around, and it had the short race seat on it. Short this way, not this way.
Oh, okay, okay. So just put this in the back of your brain, guys. We're gonna be we're brainstorming a few items that might go on there. So back to the race shop over here. So now the 22 is all apart. We need to get the old fuel out of there, which we did. That was the fuel that gave us the issue at our Pine Lake last year. So got the fuel of that, just going through it, cleaning it. Epping really made a mess of it. We took the shocks off that were on this, which are the Fox. I think I said that earlier in the video. So Bruce shortened the 25 shocks from that sled and put them on here. So really they're interchangeable. It's not that big of a difference. We just like the Foxes and they work good, last year. So did that. But this is on the ground. It's 100% ready to go. I mean, it's got fuel in it, track tension. We got our enclosures in the back here done. Seat, everything's ready to go minus clutching, which UPS screwed us on that one. So we'll have that tomorrow. So once we button that up, I think we're ready to go. Oh, we set toe today. What else do we do? Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, no, you're ready. Put the clutches on it, fire it up, and it's ready to go on the ice.
Yep. So not too far away once we get clutching, again, from Velocity Sled Performance. Will is, getting these things, they're going to be rolling. They're going to be rolling really good. So excited for that. Put my Rocks riser on. They came in today. So, yeah, we're going to button up this 22, throw some clutches on that thing, put some fuel in that, and that'll be ready to go. And that's it. So, but it looks good. They look so good low.
They do.
They just look mean. I guess it's because we're used to them being like monster trucks all the time. So when you get them down low, they just look cool. So that's it. We'll go over some clutching tomorrow. So we got our clutching from Velocity Sled Performance again. Will I use for my boost and is helping us out with the race sleds as well. So we just got his kit in, and something here looks a little bit different than what it normally does. Normally it looks like that. So what are we looking at here, Brucey?
Well, commonly since probably 2004, we've had a double roller clutch from Venom. The Helix looked a little different since back then, but in general, it's been a 2-roller. We had small rollers. Now we all have big rollers. Again, just for I guess larger roller rolls better kind of deal. So that's what has happened over the years. And you obviously we have plenty of options when we go to these to change start angle, finish angle, distance. All those things are part of the Helix world as far as when you're making changes. Now Will has done this triple roller deal where it's the same part but with 3 rollers, and basically the idea behind that is when this is in the secondary, then there's a spring in here, and then this drops on. This is has a double notch that lines up, so it lines up right. But the idea is when this Helix is in there, it could have the opportunity to do something like this, because as it's spinning out at those angles, it obviously it gives an idea where this could happen. Where with Will's deal, he came up with, now you're supporting that all the way around, so that is not going to happen.
A 3-legged stool stands better than a 2-legged stool.
Evidently, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool setup from Will. He's been working on that for a while now. So that's what we're running in our race sleds, with a custom cut cam from him. And we're gonna get this thing slapped in and get it on the stand and get it rolling.
Yep. Sounds good.
It's amazing how nice they roll when they're tucked up like that.
Oh, yeah.
You could just hear it, not grunting, trying to.
Very free.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just like that, she's ready to go ice racing whenever that first race may or may not happen. So thanks to everyone that makes this all happen. Bruce obviously included. Polaris, Rocks, Woody's, Climb, CNA, Nitro Trailers, 139 Designs, Velocity Sled Performance, Farino, Ridge. Without you guys, this doesn't happen. So Impact Roofing. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. So without you guys, I really can't make it happen. So big thank you to you guys. It's freezing out here. We're gonna put this thing back inside, and I gotta go edit. So ready to go.